pay the rent. Many Americans are waiting in food lines for the first time in their lives. Can you look them in the eye, Madam Speaker, and explain why you don't want to accept the president's latest stimulus offer?
Well, because, thank you very much, Wolf, and I hope you'll ask the same question of the Republicans about why they don't really want to meet the needs of the American people. But let me say to those people, because all of my colleagues, we represent these people. I have for over 30 years represented my constituents. I know what their needs are.
This is Nancy Pelosi. Just a few months ago, fighting for what she claims to be us. And I hate to be graphic and, disrespect women, but she really is a bitch. And the only reason I wanted to play this video for you guys, because I wanted you guys to really understand that at one point we had a $1.8 trillion offer on the table that she didn't accept. Not the Republicans. She did not accept. So, with that being said, she literally took crumbs. This is what she did. Nancy Pelosi literally took crumbs. She went from, I forgot what was the 3 point whatever trillion, then down to 2.2 trillion. And she stayed on that number, even through this interview, stayed on that number. And they were really close to it. And it had everything for Americans, everything everybody needed. It had the stimulus check, it had the unemployment, it had everything everybody wanted. Not really wanted, but, everybody would be getting something. It would have been really, really good. It's more than enough until after the presidency, until after Joe Biden gets into office. It had everything. Now, we're down to what, 900 billion? And Mitch McConnell doesn't even want to pay that. 900 billion. And she's okay with that? No stimulus checks. So first it was, okay, you know what? I'm happy that it's 900 billion and yeah, everything's cool. But before this, she was like, I'm not moving. This is the whole point of this video with Wolf. And I've never seen Wolf go off like this. I've never seen him go in on somebody like this. That let you know he was really frustrated. He's getting a lot of calls from motherfuckers. People out here hurting. People out here dying. People out here getting kicked out. It's going to be a massive, massive, massive kick out for everybody starting January who can't afford to pay their rent. And just so everyone's clear, this bitch is already rich. She's already rich. So what you're seeing and what you're hearing is her not willing to accept the president's offer. Which, by the way, I don't give a fuck about Donald Trump anyway either. So he's a piece of shit. He don't give a... And first of all, let me let y'all... He don't give a shit about stimulus right now. This nigga is fighting his own war right now. He is fighting his own shit right now. He is trying to stay in office and flip these states so he don't have to go to jail. So he don't give a fuck about what's going on right now as far as the stimulus go. Because I heard, some of the Democrats and Republicans like, yeah, hey, what's up with the president? Why isn't he commenting on it? Because he don't give a fuck about it right now. He's trying to stay out of jail. That's the shit he on right now. That's why he's fighting so hard to stay in office. Because he know once he out, they after you, boy. You done. So, I want you guys to watch this and understand that if you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, because I'm a Democrat. I'm a progressive Democrat, but I'm a Democrat. But I want you guys to understand something. Whether you're a Democrat, whether you are a Republican, whether you are, whatever you are in this country, they don't give a fuck about you. They don't. And this is proof. From Nancy Pelosi talking then to now, you can see what I'm talking about. She was so handful of not taking this fucking deal back then, which would have helped millions of Americans. Literally. She was so like, nah, I'm not taking that because of language. You're always talking about the language. Well, now look. Now look. You took more, you took less than half of what you wanted. And not to mention, there's nothing in it for Americans right now. Mitch McConnell holds all the cards, and you're basically, well, we have to do something. You should have did something back then. That's what you should have did. People are dead. People are dying in the hospital right now from COVID. We're not talking about, oh yeah, well, we got the vaccine. Well, the vaccine's not here right now. Let's not forget all the millions of businesses, small businesses that are gone forever. This shit is never coming back. The same people who you were saying that you fighting for. But she say she for us. And if this don't tell y'all that, hey, these people don't give a fuck about us, I don't know what to tell you. You need to start protecting yourself and your own and your family. And stop depending on government. And by the way, the stimulus, let's just call it what it really is. This is your money. You worked for this country. Anybody who's listening to this, you worked. This is your money. This isn't a stimulus. These are taxes that you put in, that they owe you. So basically, you're just getting your money back for years and years of work that you put in, and they don't want to give it to you. I want you to really think about that. Anyway, man, it's your boy, Infamous, 1985, man. I'm out. Protect yourselves, man.
They saw what the White House was proposing. So do a service to the issue and have some level of respect for the people who have worked on these issues, written the bill to begin with. Now, let me just say this in terms of the numbers. I want people to do the math. We had 3.4, which would meet the needs of the American people for a sustained period of time, so that there was some certainty in what would happen. The Republicans said no, well, so we took it down $1 trillion by cutting the time. We took it down another $200 billion. So we're now $200 billion down. We came down to 2.2. At the same time, since tomorrow will be 5 months since we passed the bill, at the same time, because there was no resolution, Mitch McConnell said, let's pause. The virus didn't pause, and now we're at a place where we need more money. We need more money for PPP, for our small businesses. We need more money for our airlines. We need more money for our schools. So we have absorbed nearly $500 billion more of expenses still within the 2.2.
I understand all of that, and I have only the greatest respect for you.
So do the math.
Madam Speaker, I have only the greatest respect for you.
We have come down $1.6 trillion.
$1.8 trillion. $1.8 trillion is a lot of money. The American people need that money ASAP because they're suffering right now. And I'm not saying it's perfect, but I'm saying...
And you don't care how it's spent.
I care, of course, how it's spent. But what I don't understand is why not talk to the president personally, call him up and say, Mr. President, let's get a deal tomorrow.
Look, let me say this. The president has sent Mr. Mnuchin to negotiate. That's what we've done with other presidents. This isn't unusual. With President Bush, we did this quite a bit because that's how you negotiate. And then you take it to the president. Mr. Mnuchin, I think he has integrity representing his position. May I finish, please? But he has integrity representing his position, but his position has no integrity. They do not share our values. Have a little respect for the fact that we know something about these subjects. And there's a big difference between Democrats and Republicans in whether they want to give a big tax cut to the wealthiest people in the country in their bill, in the CARES Act. We tried to take it out in this bill. Instead, they took out earned income tax credit, child tax credit, expanded health benefits to UI benefits to the extent that it was agreed to before.
Right.
So this is, I have every confidence in what and the arguments that we make because it's based on science and documentation. Our chairs know their stuff. They know what they're doing, with all due respect to the kind of people you were referencing. And I welcome their enthusiasm. I welcome their interest. I welcome their originality of their thinking. But the fact is, we have a responsibility to meet the needs of the American people in a retroactive way, so they're not at a total loss. They are at a loss because the president has ignored the virus. I wish you would spend time on the fact that if he had not ignored the virus, we wouldn't be in the position we're in, but we are. And let me say about that also, I hope that, I'm pleased that these pharmaceutical companies are taking the responsible position to halt and hopefully then resume. Because we want the public to have confidence in whatever therapies or whatever vaccines come along, that they will take them.
Right.
And to people who say, well, I don't trust Trump on that, if we trust the Food and Drug Administration for what they are doing, the scientists there who've been working 24/7 for months and months and months, excellent science. The science should call the shot, and when they do, we should all trust it.
And let's hope they get more treatments. Let's hope they get a vaccine. And Madam Speaker,
Yes.
I certainly respect you, but I also respect Ro Khanna. I respect Andrew Yang. I respect members of the Democrats who are members of the problem solvers. They want a deal because so many people right now
Well,
are
the problem
suffering.
solvers, by the way, don't have any earned income tax credit or child tax credit in their proposal either. But let's not go
It
into that.
doesn't- yeah,
You
we've gone
evidently
through
do
that.
not respect the chairman of the committees
I
who wrote these bills.
I respect
and
all of
I wish
you.
you would respect the knowledge that goes into getting meeting the needs of the American people. But again, you've been on a jag defending the administration all this time with no knowledge of the difference between our two bills, and I thank you for giving me the opportunity to say that to you in
All right,
person.
Madam Speaker,
virtually.
these are incredibly difficult times right now, and we'll leave it on that note. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
joining
we'll
us.
leave it on the vote that you are not right on this walk, and I hate to say that to you. But I feel confident about it, and I feel confident about my colleagues, and I feel confidence in my chairs.
It's not about me, it's about millions of Americans who can't put food on the table, who can't pay the rent,
And
who are
we
having
represent
trouble,
them,
who
and we
are in trouble
represent them,
getting
and
by
we
on
represent
these
them,
long food
and we
lines that we're
represent
seeing.
them.
I know
we
you
know
are.
them.
I'm just
we
saying,
represent them, and we know them.
as we
We
say,
know them. We represent them.
don't let the
Yes.
perfect be the enemy of the good, as they say
It is
here in
nowhere
Washington.
near perfect.
Madam Speaker,
Always the case, but we're not even close to the good.
all right, let's see what happens, because every day is critically important.